how to control sales calls without wasting time and money. Okay, let me say that again. How to control your sales calls without wasting time and money. And I like to call this the 6C's, the 6C's, like as in Captain C's. In order to control your sales calls, the biggest fear that most of the salespeople that I talk to have around controlling their calls is they don't want to come off forceful, they don't want to come off pushy, and they don't want to be impolite when people start talking about things that are off topic. But they also don't want their calls to last 4 hours when they're supposed to last 20 minutes. And they also don't want to be talking about someone talking about Bambi and a movie they watched 10 years ago, right? You want to be able to keep your time, energy, and respect it. And so how do you do that? The 6 C's that I'm about to go over. There's 5 main C's and then a 6th one to bring people on track. Are you ready for this? No. 6 C's to controlling any sales call and any sales meeting without wasting time or money. Here we go. C number 1. Okay, I even put them on my whiteboard today. You're gonna love it. Number 1 is you gotta connect. As soon as you get on the sales call, okay, you have to connect with the prospect. I don't care if you're on Zoom, on a phone call, or if you're in person doing coffee or lunch or in a boardroom. If you are fidgeting, right? Like if you're looking at your phone, oh, hold on, let me 1 sec, let me wait. And you're like all over the place, you're not connecting with the client. And let me put this in terms. You've never judged someone in the first like 3 to 15 seconds that you've met them ever, right? You're a human being, of course you have. And if those first couple minutes that you get on a sales call or a meeting, you're fidgeting around and you're not connecting with them, making eye contact, shoulders back, smiling and being present with them, you're going to lose them. So make sure that if you want their presence on the call, that you demand it of yourself. So the first C that you got to do to control your sales calls is to connect. Okay. The second thing that you want to do, the second C to controlling sales calls, is to control the narrative. This one's important. Control the narrative. I'm going to go through each one of these after I go through them. Basically, like I'm going to go through them first, and then I'll explain each one of them and give you an example. Controlling the narrative means this. Every interaction, I want you to think about it as a story or a plot. If I don't come up with the plot and I don't come up with what the narrative of this story is going to be, it's going to go wherever the wind blows, or the prospect or the other people in the room are going to come up with a narrative for us. Someone will. So you want to control the narrative when you first get on your calls. Again, I'll explain this here in a little bit. The third thing that you want to do is you want to capture and confirm their outcome. Capture and confirm their outcome. And what I mean by that is this. You want to make sure that you respond to them based off of what you know their outcomes are. Okay? You want to say them out loud. You want to repeat them, and then you want to confirm that this indeed is their outcome. Why do you do that? Because it shows a level of respect. It shows the level of care, and that you've done your homework. And when you've done your homework, you've shown that you care, you demand authority without being forceful. You see, when someone knows about me and they know my outcomes, I want to listen, because they're demanding authority, not out of force, but because I feel like they care about me. You picking up what I'm putting down? Again, I'll go over examples here in a sec. The fourth C that you want to go over whenever you're trying to control your sales calls is this. You want to confirm a committed time. You want to make sure that if you got 20 minutes, you tell them we have 20 minutes. If they don't know where the finish line's at, it's hard for them to know when to stop, right? And when you remind them of that time, after you've confirmed their outcome and controlled the narrative, then they're more likely to listen. I want you to think about this as a recipe, okay? I wouldn't ask you to throw something in the oven until everything prepared first, because if you do things out of order or out of operation, it's not going to turn out the result that you want. So first you have to connect with them. Then you want to control the narrative. Then you want to confirm their outcome. Then you want to confirm and commit them to the time that you have on that call. Next one, After you've committed the time, after you've connected, after you followed the first 4 C's, then you are going to continue through your sales process. Okay. Depending on who's been your sales coach or where you were at the first couple of years that you got into sales, you probably have a typical sales process that you go through on sales meetings or sales calls. If you don't have a process yet, or you're not getting the results yet, if your sales are shit, or if you are off track, or you're wavering side to side, or some days and some months you're like worried about what your sales are going to be or what your closing rate is going to be, I would be happy to share my sales process with you. Just put in the comments below sales process, and we can set up a call. I'll walk you through it, and then we can talk about a partnership. So you have to have a sales process. Why? Because if you were doing a science experiment, or let's just say that someone was doing a science experiment on you, would you want them to just wing it? Or would you want them to know what they're doing? You see, in any good data, or any good sales process, scientific process, you only change 1 or 2 variables at a time. Because if you have way too many variables, you're going to bob and weave, and you're never going to have certainty, which is the most important thing that you need in any sales cycle, is to have massive certainty. One of the worst things that I see out of all the salespeople that I coach and entrepreneurs that I coach is this: they don't stick to a particular sales process. They don't like rules. They don't like being told what to do. They don't like doing something the same way every time. And hear me out on this. You have to have a proven process that leads to a result, and then tweak 1 or 2 things. It's like doing a study on a new drug, new pharmaceutical drug, right? I don't recommend pharmaceuticals, but let's just go for this example. Let's just say that you're testing out a new pharmaceutical drug. You don't give everyone different drugs. You give the entire group the same drug or a placebo, because there's only 1 variable involved. That way, you know for sure if that one didn't work or if it did work. So having a sales process is vital. If you don't have one, you best be commenting below, and I'm happy to help you. I can set up a one-on-one call, and I can walk you through mine, and you'll see how it can get you there. So that's number 5. Then number 6, okay, is come back to the outcome. All the time I get people saying, Brian, I just don't want to be so mean, but these people are talking about their kids and their grandkids or their grandma or all the things underneath the rainbow, anything not relative to the sales process. And I get it. People can talk on forever, and you want to be polite. And that's why you want to gently bring them back down to their outcome and remind them of the time that's committed. So again, there are 6 C's to controlling any sales call or any sales meeting. I'm going to go through them really quick again, and then I'm going to give you an example of each. That way you're not barking at me like you don't know what to do. Okay, let's go. Number 1 is you want to connect. Number 2 is you want to control the narrative. Number 3 is you want to capture and confirm the outcome of the call. Then you want to remind them of a committed time that you have with them that day. Number 5 is you want to continue on your sales process. As I mentioned, if you don't have a sales process, you need one. Comment in the section below. And then number 6 is come back to the outcome. So let's talk about connect. I was coaching a group, and I don't want to say this group's name, but this is how they were connecting. Hey, how's the weather? Oh my God. How unprofessional. I don't know about you, but I hate small talk. Please don't talk to me about the weather. Please don't ask me what my grandkids had or what my grandparents had for lunch. I don't care. Neither does your prospect. The way that you connect is when you're prepared for that sales calls, you should know 1, 2, or 3 things specifically about that client and their outcome. So you might say, hey, John, I see that you filled out your form, and it sounds to me that you're looking to buy your dream home. You've saved up for 5 or 6 years. Is that what you wanted today? Awesome. I'm here to help you get that outcome. So I connected with John with a purpose. I didn't just talk about the weather. I talked about something that's relevant to the sales process. That way, John doesn't veer off track. Okay, so that's number 1, connect. Number 2, you want to control the narrative. Remember, if you don't control the narrative, someone in that meeting will. How do you control the narrative? All right, John, it sounds to me like you want your dream home. In order for us to get there, here's what we're going to do. We're going to do process A, B, and C. And at the end of that, you're going to decide if I'm a good fit for you and if you're a good fit for me. Does that sound fair? Awesome. And my goal is to get you your highest outcome. So I'm positive, and I can tell you with certainty that I will serve you at the highest level. Does that sound good? Can we get started? Awesome. So that's controlling the narrative. I helped John see that by going step 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to get him his desired result. The third C is commit the time. Remember to control and tell them about the committed time that you have. Sorry, capture and confirm the outcome. So John, I just want to be sure with you today. Is your goal to get into the dream home that you've been saving up for 5 to 6 years? Yes. And how soon would you like to get that done? The next 3 months. Awesome. Our typical sales cycle for housing market in this area is about 45 to 60 days, which means we're going to have, if we started today, we're going to have 3 to 4 weeks to get you that dream home. So what I suggest is by the end of this call, you make a decision that I'm either going to be the realtor for you or not. Does that sound good, John? Awesome. So I captured and I confirmed John's outcome, but I put it in a way where it helps him understand that we got to move quickly. We got to make a decision by the end of this call. Number 4, I had these out of order, but number 4 is commit to the time. All right, John. So listen, we have 30 minutes in this meeting today. And like I said, we're going to plan to do A, B, and C. All right. So can we get this done in the next 30 minutes so I can make sure that we get on to the next step and that I'm serving you at the highest level? Awesome. All right. So in the next 30 minutes, let's go through this process. Let's get started. Then the 5th C is actually going through your sales process. I would need 12 hours to go through that with you to make sure it's dialed in perfectly. So I can't go over the whole thing today, but I'm sure you have a sales process. If you don't, you better get one. Comment below. Okay. And then number 6, if they veer off track and John starts talking about his dog and how his dog got a bladder infection 3 months ago, okay, you want to make sure that you come back to the outcome. Hey, John, you know, I got 30 minutes and I have some other clients that I want to meet, and I want to be super respectful of your time. And remember your outcome. In the next 3 months, 3 to 6 months, you wanted to get in your dream home. And today we want to get you to the point where you're ready to make the decision if I'm going to be the right realtor for you and if you're going to be the right client for me. So we did want to move fast. Is that right? Awesome. Okay. So tell me, what is it that you're looking in a dream home? So as I redirected John to his outcome, then from his outcome, I get right back into the sales process. You follow me? It doesn't matter what you're selling. I don't care if it's cars. I don't care if it's watches. I don't care if it's logistics. No matter what you're selling, these 6 C's will help you control your meetings, control the narrative, make sure that you're not getting too far off track. Okay? Hey, did you like what you heard today? Did you get some good tips for sales? Awesome. There's more where that came from when you hit that subscribe button right here below. It's exactly what you need to hear next in order to double your sales in a shorter period of time. Whether it's 6 or 7 figures or even 8 that you're after, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button below to get even more free content. Plus, my team typically puts some other links here below so you can snag some more free content of mine so that you can close even more business. So check out those links below, subscribe. I'll see you soon.